Get started, we'd like to welcome the defending champions of the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry. Welcome back, guys. Rory, we will start with you. Week and a half removed from winning the Masters, becoming the sixth player to get the career Grand Slam. If we can talk a little bit about what the last week and a half has been like for you, and also how you refocus now as you and Shane try to win this again.
Look, it's been an amazing few days after, and to be able to reflect on it and, everything that happened and the magnitude of everything. And, I think that the big thing for me is just how, the whole journey sort of resonated with people, and, the people that have reached out to me. And, that's been absolutely amazing. So, look, it's not every day you get to fulfill one of your lifelong goals and dreams, and I've just really tried to enjoy everything that comes along with that. I went to we first went to London with Erica and Poppy to see our new home that we're building there last week, and then we made the trip over to Belfast to see my mum and dad and a few other people that are important to me over there. And just to be with them, to be with Erica and Poppy and my mum and dad, and to see Michael Bannon, my lifelong coach, and spend a bit more time with Harry and his wife, and just celebrate with the people that have been a part of this whole thing for my entire career and my entire life was absolutely amazing. As you can hear, I picked up a bit of a cold on the way. So feeling a little bit under the weather, but obviously it's been an amazing few days, but I'm excited and happy to be here with my man, and we're looking forward to a great week, and I'm trying to defend.
Yeah, Shane, talk a little bit about your season up to this point. 3 top tens, season best runner finish at Pebble Beach to this guy. If you can talk a little bit about your form coming into the week.
Yeah, it's been decent. As a pro golfer, you want to get wins. You don't want, place finishes. But, I feel like my golf's been pretty consistent. I've in a decent position in the FedEx Cup, and I'm moving up the world rankings. I'm happy where I'm at, but I kind of need to be patient from here. And I put myself in a decent position in Augusta a couple of weeks ago, but I just had a really poor sort of last 20 holes. I was very happy with how the whole week went up until kind of the back 9 on Sunday. But I think, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. Obviously, I'm here. I'm happy we're here. I wasn't sure, obviously when Rory did what he did a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't sure how things were going to pan out. So I'm happy we're here, and I'm looking forward to a great week.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll open it up to questions. If you'll raise your hands, we'll get a microphone to you. Let's start right here on the front. Where's the... Yeah, go ahead, Brody. No.
I guess for both of you, but Rory, a year ago when you came here, it was maybe your game wasn't quite where you wanted yet, and you were trying to get back on the board. It was just a very different time, and now and it felt like it was a release a little bit, kind of coming here and having fun with Shane and your caddies. How different is it right now, just kind of where you are in your life and your career to come here in a very different tone?
If you had asked me a year ago that I'd be sitting here in this position and everything that's happened. But, I honestly, could not be in a better place in my life.
No way. Professionally,
personally, all of it. It's amazing what a year can do. But, this tournament last year was a really cool moment for both of us. And, I think it probably injected a little bit of joy back into golf for me in some way, which I think is really, really important not to lose that. And for me, I had a great year last year, and I think this tournament was sort of the catalyst to the really good golf that I played for the rest of the year.
All right, let's go to Jeff in the back and then up front.
Yeah, Roy, you mentioned earlier about how so many people connected with you, about how your journeys resonated. Could you expand on that a little bit? And also, I assume some of those were maybe even beyond golf, some of those instances?
Yeah, very much beyond golf. I spoke to 2 presidents the day after, which was pretty cool. I just people reaching out from all walks of life, whether it be sports, entertainment, culture, like just all of it. Just people that you would never even think that would watch golf or would know what's going on. That was very, very humbling, I guess. But I think it's people can. I think people can see themselves in the struggle at times, and everything that you sort of try to put into getting the best out of yourself in that journey. And I think people watching, someone finally, get it done, something they've been trying to do for a decade plus. That's why I say I think it resonated with a lot of people.
All right, let's go to Scott and then back row. Okay.
Congratulations, both of you, and welcome back. Rory, considering the whirlwind your life has been since April 13th, what did it mean to you to follow through with this commitment to being defending champions and all that stuff, to come back here?
Yeah, we were...
Back, and then we'll get Jack and Dave.
Right here, Rory. Obviously, coming off such an emotional win and earning that first career Grand Slam, in your first event since doing that, I mean, how eager are you to kind of get back out there since then? And how do you think that experience has altered your confidence kind of as a golfer now finally earning that?
Yeah, I'm eager to get back out there. I think this is the perfect atmosphere to do it in. I think that's a part of the reason that I wanted to honor the commitment to be here, is because it's a fun event to be out there with Shane. It's and I also know that it's not all on me. He has to do some of the work too. So maybe a lot of it the next 2 days. But it's a perfect tournament to come back to. Just good positive vibes from last year, and then I don't know if it gives me more confidence. I've always been very confident in my abilities as a golfer. I do think that the whole day on Sunday at Augusta, I don't think I'll have to ever play a harder round of golf in my life. I certainly. I said I certainly don't want to be placed back on that 15th tee box on that Sunday afternoon. So I think that to be able to get through that and produce the shots when I needed to, that obviously gives me confidence, and I can always draw back on that experience.
All right, let's get Jack and Dave.
Rory, your golf ball change has made a lot of news the last couple months. Given that you guys have to play the same golf ball for 2 rounds, have you decided which ball you're going to be using for this year for the alternate shot, and kind of what goes into getting ready to play one another's golf balls?
Yeah, I'd say we'll probably just do the same thing as we did last year. If Shane's hitting the approach into the green, I'll probably hit his golf ball off the tee. And then vice versa, he'll hit my golf ball off the tee, and if I'm hitting the approach. But she
actually did some testing yesterday morning back home. When we delayed our trip, I went down to the range and we both practiced the same place. So both our golf balls are there. So I did some testing; they're pretty similar. So we could actually use either ours, but it's foursomes. Like we've played a lot of foursomes growing up. Obviously Ryder Cups and stuff. So you kind of figure out how to do it. It's you drive each other's golf ball, and then because driving is not the issue, it's having especially when it gets windy or the wind's swirling, you want to have control of your ball. So I think we figured it out last year. We'll do it this year.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Dave and then Brody.
Rory, I'd imagine a couple of the big goals that you may have sort of formally set out for yourself at the beginning of the season have now been checked off. At some point this year, or will you wait maybe till the end of the year to sort of reestablish what goals you would have for the remainder of 2025? And Shane, I feel bad because you haven't done a whole lot of talking. What are some of your...
I knew, I've actually got more questions than I thought I was going to get.
But you're also going to be defending champion when we go back to Port Rush. What are some of your goals as well throughout the rest of 2025?
I think Rory's probably, his goals are... Who cares anymore? He's got the...
I care.
He can... he can take it easy for a while, but no, going back to Port Rush is going to be incredible. I mean, Rory going back as a Masters champion now is kind of going to take a little bit of heat off me again, so I'm pretty happy with that. So no, it's going to be a great tournament. I think, look, I seen something yesterday where I think 278,000 people are going to attend the Open this year at Portrush. I think 1 million people applied for tickets. It's going to be an incredible event, and I'm just going to be happy to be a part of it.
All right, let's take a few more. Let's go Brody, MK, and then Brett.
Shane, you obviously were in contention trying to win 2 weeks ago. You had 20, 30 minutes from when you finished to when Rory finishes? Like, what is that time of you are processing what you need to process, but then you're there for that moment with him?
Yeah, honestly, it was the weirdest day ever for me because obviously I'm going out there and I get off to a decent start. Birdie's second, get 6 under, and I'm sort of thinking, Masters Sunday. I'm watching Justin Rose do what he did in front of me. He's a group in front of me, so very strange day. And then I just had a bad day, and then you get to watch one of your really close friends kind of do what he does. But I was sort of, I was out of it for a long time, and I was watching the leaderboard going around, then come in, and I had to deal with my own disappointments first. I actually went to the locker room for like 15 minutes just to gather my own thoughts, watched a bit of golf, watched what he was doing out there. And then after that, it's sort of I'm just happy for him. I know what he's been through the last, certainly the last 10 years, since, the Grand Slam was on. The pressure has been put on him by, not so much by himself, but by everyone outside of it has been, pretty tough, and he's had to deal with a lot of disappointment. So it was pretty cool to see him do that. And
I jumped in too fast there. Back to Dave for Rory.
Yeah, goals. I think one shared goal that we both have is winning at Bethpage. That's that would be an unbelievable way to cap off the year. But yeah, I mean, the one thing I feel like what helped me to get over the line at Augusta was really trying to focus on, I've talked, and we both work with Bob Rutella, but, basically the one thing I try to do after the end of every round is go and look myself in the mirror and say, that's how I want to feel when I play golf. And that, if that's my goal for the rest of my career, and I can go after every round and I can look in the mirror and I can say that to myself, then, the results will take care of themselves.
All right, MK and then Brett.
For both of you, what is the difference in confidence gained between winning individually and winning as a team?
Winning, obviously winning individually, you've done it all yourself. Obviously you've got your team of people around you, and you get a lot of satisfaction from that. But I think winning as a team was honestly one of the coolest experience you can have. Anytime you win, I know, last year we won this tournament, and Rory obviously played great, but I knew I played my part as well. So you're kind of going away thinking, we've both done pretty well to win this tournament. And I feel like there was a certain stage during the tournament last year where my confidence wasn't great because I didn't feel like I was helping the team as much as I would have liked. But when I look back on it, I actually did well. It was the back nine on Saturday. The front nine, we opened up and I did a bit of the work at the start, and then Rory turned into Rory McIlroy for the last 10 holes. I think he birdied 7 of the last 10 or something like that. And I sort of didn't feel great actually going to bed that night. I felt like I didn't, do much that day. But when I look back on it, so confidence is, winning just breeds confidence. And I think, obviously as an individual, it's much more confidence, but as a team, it certainly helped me last season. I felt like I kicked on after this tournament last season and played pretty well, and it certainly helped him since then as well. So yeah,
I certainly think it's more fun to win as a team. It's a shared experience. I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, I think we can both look back to last year here and think about the times when, like Shane used a new putter here last year for the first time, right? But he held that putt in regulation, which got us into the. But it was. Hey, I've certainly missed shorter. But just stuff like that, he was struggling with his putting. He came here with a new putter. he held a 3-footer, but under pressure to that's an important thing, and like those little things can help kick you on to the rest of the year.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Brett right here on the front.
All right. Another one for Shane. Although I'd be interested in Rory's response. Just as an elite competitor, what do you think is the healthiest or most productive way to process or deal with, all that goes with being on Rory's team, especially this year?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, what pressures are on me this week? Or
Yeah, he's obviously, people are going to, Rory is coming off the Masters career Grand Slam, and how do you view, your role in this and dealing with everything that goes with playing alongside someone that's just accomplished that?
Yeah, I think the most important obviously we're here, like, and we said it, we flew together last year here, and we said we're here to pick up 400 FedEx Cup points each. That's why we're here this week. And that's why we are here again this week. But we are here to have a good time as well. Like, I'm not saying a good time, like, we're not going to be down Bourbon Street every night, but I'm here, we're here to enjoy it, and golf at times, it might not seem it now for, like, Rory, who's accomplished what he has this year so far. Golf at times can be, like, monotonous. Like, tour golf can be tough and a slog and week in, week out, playing 72 hole strokes on your own. So when you get a tournament like this, it just changes it up, and it's just much more fun to play, and you have each other out there, and especially with our caddies, get on very well. We all get on very well, the four of us together, and I think I think coming here this week, it's obviously going to be pretty cool. I was very excited that Rory still decided to come here, because I just want to see what it's going to be like this week. I'm sure the crowds are going to be huge. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting. I hope we can get ourselves into contention. But just being Rory's partner this week, it is going to be pretty cool. Obviously, he's playing great golf. I know he's not done much practice in the last 2 weeks, so I am going to, have to step up, but I'm sure we'll be fine. But yeah, it's just a cool thing, and like, I've known Rory for years, and we're good friends. So, like, if I was sitting beside another guy that just completed the Grand Slam and I was his partner this week, it might feel a little bit different. But I know him so well that, like, nothing phases me being around him. So yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that dynamic?
No, I mean, not really. Look, we're gonna basically hit the same amount of shots this week. So, our roles are both as important as each other's. And yeah, look, today's a pretty important day for me. I need to start hitting some balls again and getting back into it. I felt, once I got back from Ireland on Sunday, but then when I woke up Monday morning, I could barely get out of bed. I was feeling that bad. So I think just to be here and feeling better is an achievement. But I need to put a little bit of practice and a bit of work in today to make sure that I don't let this man down this week.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.